Welcome everybody to the 2016 Nazare Pro and APB Grand Slam event. My name is Manny Vargas and we are here at Praia del Norte, Portugal. And let me tell you something, the waves were pumping and the riding off the charts. Let's get into it.
Nazare is best known for producing the biggest waves in the world. A deep underwater channel leads from the Atlantic Ocean floor right to the beach of Praia del Norte, which means ocean swells arrive uninterrupted. For bodyboarder, it not only has size, but the headland creates peaks that form perfect wedges for aerial maneuvers. Two men that know the wave better than anyone else are local rider and World Tour bodyboarder Antonio Cardoso and former world champion Pierre-Louis Costes, who now lives in Portugal.
Praia del Norte is a sick wave. I started surfing there when I was 12 years old. It's one of the best beach breaks in the world for bodyboarding, that's for sure. It's more A-frames, more for bodyboarding, like just drop and then go straight to the ramp and just fly.
I do live in Portugal now, and Nazare and Praia del Norte is one of the places that I go the most. Definitely in my top 3 of the best beach break in the world. To me, it has the biggest ramp you can ever dream of. It's hard to get them, but if you do, you have the potential to get the biggest move of your life. And I know that, and that's why I go there a lot, and I train a lot, and I'm trying to have that wave, The wave is amazing, and once again, it showcases our sport at the best, and that's what we are looking for. To have Nazare on the tour is something amazing, just the atmosphere of that place, knowing that people still have the biggest wave of their life there, and to know that for bodyboarding you can do the biggest, you can catch big wave, but you can actually do the biggest move of your life. That's what more bodyboarding is all about, that for me at Nazare.
A massive swell hit Nazare at the start of the waiting period. Rider safety couldn't be assured, so a lay date was called. Most of the world's best bodyboarders went hunting dream waves in more protected corners of the coastline. But not Mike Stewart, who decided to test himself in the monster seas. At 53, Mike has a lifetime of experience in the heavy oceans of Hawaii. Most experienced watermen would still opt to use a jet ski to get into the surf, but not Mike. He simply grabbed his board and fins and set off into the mountainous waves. He made it out the back into 15-foot sets, where he was joined by Brazilian charger Dudu Pedra.
Welcome everybody to the 2016 Nazare Pro.
The swell backed off enough to start the competition the following day. Nazare was producing 6-foot-plus wedging beach breaks, and Jeff Hubbard used them to considerable success in his first heat. The Hawaiian arrived in Portugal with his sights set on another world title and looked comfortable in the conditions. Jeff is renowned for his aerial ability, and the wedging peaks played to his strengths. Matias Diaz won his heat with a smooth roll off a nice size section.
He gets a nice roll off the start of that.
Another Hawaiian excelled in the heavy beach break conditions that morning. Jacob Romero won directly through to round 3.
Here we see Jacob Romero hoping to get an express journey into round 3 with a nice invert there.
Romero improved his score when he launched a backflip on the first section of another right, before driving into the inside, where he rolled out the closeout section. Local favorite Antonio Cardoso failed to utilize the wealth of Nazare experience in the opening round, as he was beaten.
The man in yellow, Nazare's finest, nice invert there, and he was able to land it quite nicely, so we'll wait to see.
So that's not enough to take the lead.
Mike Stewart wished the contest had run the previous day, when he was the only guy who wanted to go up, as he was beaten by Alan Munoz.
Look at this, we got a split peak, and oh my goodness, a big backflip right there from Alan Munoz, and he pulls it off.
Pierre-Louis Costes thrived in the monster peaks of his adopted home break.
Ranked number 3, definitely on the hunt for another world title. Coming with a big backflip on that right-hander, and again, that is his textbook maneuver. PLC once again, another big backflip.
Times it really well. Clean flip.
Back to the live action. in your face is PLC just going skyward with a giant air forward and lands it. Oh my goodness, PLC put on the wings.
Another guy in the world title conversation is Ian Campbell, and the South African showed why in round 1.
My goodness, look at that. A 9.75 for that ginormous backflip.
Maxime Castillo continued the good form of the top seeds.
We've got Maxime Castillo, nice move there, and he combos it when another one is able to pull that one through.
That is Eda Luciano. Oh, a lot of speed and power through those maneuvers, and that's a hallmark of Luciano surfing. He's such a big, strong kid from Brazil.
No surprise when he gets a lot of air.
That brought Dave Hubbard into the action, and the Hawaiian exploded above the lip to secure a round 1 victory.
Up and riding, we got Dave Hubbard in the red jersey. A nice backflip right there.
The round then closed with a major upset as world title contender Omri Laverne was sent to round 2.
Here he goes, Omri Laverne in the red jersey. Drawing that high line, trying to make sure when he releases that rail, oh my gosh, he'll do something like that right there. Big backflip.
He was beaten by Guadalupean trialist Martin Meridian, whose barrel-to-roll combo set up a famous win. This well remained solid for the start of round 2 the next day. Antonio Cardoso got the local crowds going as he made up for his poor round 1 showing.
Goes for a nice reverse. Cardoso just got the score at the end, and then Antonio got his first place back with this last wave.
It was then the turn of the other big name in round 2 as Omri looked to keep a world title run alive.
Omri Laverne down the beach. Look at this left. Look at that section lining up. Nice clean roll through the lip. Lands perfectly.
He showed no sign of pressure as he dominated in the perfect conditions.
Sees another section down the beach and another clean roll.
And he's able to come up big.
Oh
invert.
my, that was massive.
The waves continued to pump, and the blazing sun brought crowds to the beach of Nazare. The rest of round 2 was concluded before organizers made the easy decision to roll straight into round 3.
We're going to get situated for round number 3, which is another elimination round.
Jeff Hubbard beat Ryan Hardy in a high-scoring heat in which both riders threw down big. That afternoon, the world's best riders continually pushed the boundaries of what constituted a makeable section as riders went bigger and bigger. The result? Some of the craziest aerials ever seen in a World Tour competition. The next day started off much the same way, with pumping swell and a performance level above anything seen before. The remainder of round 3 ran in the morning, and it was the top seeds who rose to the occasion. The world title contenders all progressed to round 4, which began that afternoon.
This is a Sunday here in Portugal, and a lot of people are joined us here at the beach.
There's a lot of water moving through the lineup here at Praia de Norte. Looks like the Zambezi's running straight through it. Oh my goodness, Dave Hubbard. Yeah! Dave Hubbard just flashing the slick of the board to the crowd.
You can just see the waves are just massive, and compared to the bodyboard coming out of the water, this is a great perspective to show you how big these waves are.
Back now as we see yellow again. That's more like it.
Dropping in on a nice sized wave. Look how much speed he has maintaining that, going straight off the bottom. And oh my gosh, get some serious air with that reverse maneuver.
The offshore wind and sunshine complemented the level of action in the water.
Testament to how much power and how testing it is out here. You know, some of the fittest guys have really been pushed today, and this has got to be like one of the most physically challenging events we're going to see all year.
It has been an amazing day with amazing waves. What are you expecting for tomorrow?
Well, it's supposed to drop a little bit. Could be really clean and drop off. It's going to be some crazy high performance riding out there tomorrow. It's going to be really good.
The final day started with the remaining heats of round 4. Dave Hubbard started strongly against Matias Diaz when he rode out of an off-the-lip reverse on a solid section. He then found a clean barrel on a left-hander down the beach.
That's more like it. Oh my
into
goodness.
the barrel.
Get out of here.
Before he improved his position when a right-hand wedge offered up a perfect air reverse section, and Dave feasted to book himself a spot in the quarterfinals. The last heat of round 4 featured 2 former world champions. Amaury Laverne posted the first decent score when he drove through a foamy closeout wedge to boost an invert. He disappeared into the trough but emerged for a completed ride. Uri Valadao failed to post a response, and then Amaury extended his lead by linking multiple maneuvers on a left-hander.
Big section, clean flip, brings it around and looking for another move.
The first quarterfinal pitted Alex Uranga against Jeff Hubbard. Uranga opened up the heat with a full rotation air reverse on a left-hand section. Hub responded with an invert on a big, washy left-hand wedge. He projected out off the lip and completely disappeared into the foam before he re-emerged down the line.
Wow, look at this thing shaping up for Jeff. Slides under the pocket, getting a nice clean barrel. In this section, a big invert right there from Jeff Hubbard. Oh my goodness.
Hub then took control of the heat with a backflip into the flats that he landed before getting swallowed up by the oncoming section. Uranga made it a closer contest when he picked off a left he used for a full rotation air reverse.
Jeff Hubbard up and riding on this right-hander. He's got a lot of speed. Finds the lip here and pulls an air reverse of his own.
Jeff sealed victory and a spot in the semifinals when a perfect left-hand barrel presented itself. He exited cleanly and popped a straight air off the approaching section. Uranga threw a clean backflip on his small wave to finish the heat, but it wasn't enough to overtake Hub. The next quarterfinal was between Alan Munoz and Pierre-Louis Costes, and the Frenchman made a fast start. Near-identical left-hand waves produced near-identical results, as Costes executed a pair of textbook backflips. Munoz then found a fast ramp into a right-hand section that he used for a massive reverse, but was unable to ride away cleanly. Ian Campbell opened his heat against Mike Stewart with a big roll that he punched through the top of a wave and launched into the flats. The pair then traded clean left-hand barrels that left Campbell with a lead that he held until the end of the heat.
Campbell down the beach has found a nice right-hander. And Ian, this is why this guy's leading the rankings at the moment.
The last quarterfinal was between Omri Laverne and Dave Hubbard. Laverne opened up with a backflip on the left before Hub found a big ramp that he used for a hanging invert.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? That thing was gigantic. David Hubbard going skyward.
He then added to the lead with a clean right-hand air reverse. Omri Laverne reduced the lead when he raced down the left-hand line and swung a classic reverse. It wasn't enough to beat Hub's score, and he held on to the win to proceed to a semi-final showdown with Ian Campbell. The first semi was between Jeff Hubbard and Costes, who again got busy early. He boosted an air forward on his first wave and then found a right-hand barrel that he exited with a tweaked invert. While Hub struggled for rhythm, Costes found another left to close out the win.
It's Jeff Hubbard. Oh my goodness! PLC making his way into the shore. He will advance on into the final.
In the second semi, Ian Campbell lined up a big backdooring section to establish an early lead. Dave then snuck through a couple of smaller tubes to get himself into the lead. In a low-scoring heat, it was enough to earn him a place in the Nazare final.
So David Hubbard may be walking into the grand final where he will face off ELC.
In the final, Pierre again made the early move as he took a right that he pumped down the line before popping off his section and pivoting through a clean reverse.
Look at this, PLC right off the bat, a clean air reverse. Dave going for a big ARS on that very difficult section, but couldn't pull that off.
Gilbert messes up and riding on this left hander. The eyeballs execute huge invert off the end of that left hander, and he lands it.
Wow.
You can see the crowd cheering.
Wow, look at this. Slides into the barrel right there. Dave Hubbard holding that edge, making sure he doesn't lose his edge and maintains his speed and comes out of that barrel with a nice spin to finish off. Here's a look at PLC dropping in on this one, eyeing a big old section coming at him and throws it sideways on that invert and lands perfectly on that wave right there. So PLC looking very strong out here. That will be the end of the road for Dave Hubbard, and PLC, using his training grounds here in Praia del Norte, will win the 2016 Nazare Pro here in Praia del Norte, Nazare, Portugal.
It was really wedgy, you know, the straight direction made it very wedgy. and I knew it was going to be a good day for bodyboarding. I knew that we were going to see crazy moves, and you know, this happened. It's a bit stressful, you know, competing at a beach break because it's all about being at the right spot at the right time. It was a long day, you know, starting with the quarterfinal, surfing against Alan Munoz, maybe the revelation of this year, and my semi-final was, you know, one of the most important hits of the year for me. I was about to face Jeff Harvard, that has been on fire, you know, this year, winning tidy and making back-to-back semi-final at the Grand Slam event. So actually, that was his third semi-final in a row. So, you know, he's so consistent, and I knew that making this hit was going to play like a very, very important role in the title race. So I was very focused on that. I knew that this was an opportunity to gain a lot of points. So I changed a little bit my tactic. Instead of trying to catch a lot of waves like I do, I was focused on catching, you know, the right waves. I knew against a guy like Jeff, you need to catch the right waves. You need to catch a good wave. So that's what I did. It was a very, very tight hit, a very, very close one. He actually had the best wave of the hit, but I was able to get a good backup, better than his, and I was in the lead. And after that, basically we got stuck in the rip, and you know, that played in my favor. And yeah, I was happy to make that one. That was a very huge relief, and I was just happy to make the final. And the final I was about to face his brother. You know, Dave Harvard was the man of the event. He comboed his opponents the last 3 hits, and including guys like Amaury Laverne and Ian Campbell. So just to show how hard it was to beat Dave Harvard at Nazare. You know, the ocean really played in my favor in that final. You know, I caught my first wave, then I sat in a different peak, a wave came my way, and then the same thing happened again when I arrived in a different peak. So I was able to win Nazare, and I knew that victory was going to... It didn't put me in the lead, but I knew that I made a lot of points, and that was going to help me. So, but most important of all, you know, winning Nazare was a goal of mine too, because like I said, I pretty much felt like I was at home. I felt the support of the Portuguese riders and the people on the beach. I had my family there, I had my wife. It's an event I really, really wanted to win because Nazare became a very special place for me.
So there you have it. More awesome action went down here in Nazare, Portugal. One more time, congratulations to Pierre-Louis Costes. So that's it. From here in Praia del Norte, we will see you at the next event. Boom!